What's up, my beautiful people? Hope you are well today. Got an exciting video for you today. I'm going to be talking about how I made my first $10,000 online using social media. What's up, everybody? Again, I hope you are doing well. It's Sunday. I usually make videos here on Sunday, get them out by Monday. And again, like we talk about all the time now, is we're putting videos up on this channel on Mondays and Thursdays. So that's what you can really expect here. We're gonna do this for a year straight. I'm committed to it. Sometimes I don't feel like filming these videos, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I set a goal, and that's what I'm gonna stick to. So definitely do that in your life. But I wanna get into this story. I made a previous video about how I made my first $10,000 month. You can check that out if you click the little I, or I'll put it down in the description as well. And that was a great video. I talked a lot about perseverance and pushing past your challenges and stuff like that. But I want to get a little bit more into depth on how I had my first $10,000 month, and then how I've had multiple $10,000 months, and really what is going to help you get to your first $10,000 month. All right, so I'm gonna go to the gym here in a little bit. I'm gonna go to the one here in my apartment complex. It's a really nice one to just be right here, and just because I have a busy day today, I got a lot of stuff going on in addition to filming, so it's a bit challenging, but we're definitely going to get this out for you guys. So that previous video that I talked about, that was all about pushing past your persevering past all your challenges and all that kind of stuff. But here I just want to really share my story on how, really what it took for me to get to that $10,000 month, and then having multiple $10,000 months after that. So because I'm always learning best when I just listen to people's stories and how they got to where they got. And yeah, so that's why I wanted to make this video and just really kind of share my journey. So in the first 2.5 years, I didn't make a single dollar online. I was really just dabbling, just doing a bunch of different stuff, just wasn't focused. That's really what it came down to. But finally I did get focused, and I found a mentor. I found him online. He just kind of took a liking to me. We just had some good back and forth, and he was kind of just instructing me a little bit. It wasn't I didn't pay him anything, and it wasn't a direct mentorship, but he was just filling me in on stuff, and I just considered him a mentor because he was really the person that really kind of started pushing me a little bit. So I would recommend you go out there and find your own mentor if you just want to have some conversations. And I think people get it twisted with these mentors thing, is that just because you get a mentor or you hire somebody or whatever, thinks that that's going to be a success, but that's not really it. It's just that's the person to guide you a little bit, but it's really all about just taking massive action. And that's really what happened for me, is that nothing really worked until I took massive action. I remember very specifically is there was one day that I just decided to make a ton of YouTube videos, made 6 YouTube videos in a row. And shortly after that, I made my first sale. I got my first $25 sale, and that was really cool. Gave me that taste of success, but it was still a long journey after that. So I just realized that it's all about taking action, and consistent action, and just massive action before you're actually going to have any results. So I strongly recommend that you implement that into your life, and just really understand that until you keep on taking action, you keep on pushing forward, you're not going to have any of the type of results that you truly want. Okay, so that's the first little tidbit of the story. I'm going to go to the gym now, and then we're going to get into the rest of this story.
All the choices you made, did you make them again? All the lies that you told, did you believe?
All right, so we're here in the gym all alone. It's not usually like this. Someone else was in here, obviously. I'll clean that up a little bit. But yeah, I want to share this kind of second part about this story, and really where a big shift came after I doing that, those videos and making videos and taking a lot of action. I have to instill that into you. It's always going to be action. You always have to just take action, learn through the process. But one of the other big things that happened for me, and it was a big turning point for me, was I went to a live event. Okay, my mentor, he told me, hey, you got to get to this event. I really didn't have much money, to be honest. I was making a little bit of money online, but it was just it wasn't feeding a lifestyle or anything like that. And yeah, so I just did it. I was still living with my parents, but I went. It was in Chicago. I was living in Denver at the time. I was living with my parents, obviously. And I went to the event, and I just got super inspired, and just showed me what was really possible with this internet stuff because I saw all these people having massive success. And I remember one thing specifically. I got to that event and they were like handing out checks on stage, a lot of people that were just crushing it. And one of the people that were absolutely crushing it was this old lady. I think she was probably like, I don't know, like 60, 70 years old. I just remember she being fairly old. So, and she was collecting a 6-figure check on stage. And I said, if she can do it, your boy can do it too.
Tonight, I'd lie for you, baby. Honestly,
And the other thing about this event that really just had a visceral impact on me was I remember sitting in the back of the arena. There was probably like 10,000 people at this thing in Chicago. It was awesome. It was just an amazing event. And I was sitting in the back and this lady was sharing her story on stage and talking about how she dealt with drug addiction, alcoholism, and just a lot of stuff, and like postpartum depression, stuff like that. And I've never had problems with that kind of stuff, obviously. But she was just sharing her struggles and everything that she'd gone through to like reach the point where she was at today, or that day. And I was like, damn, like that's awesome. And it just like really related and I connected with it. And I was like that was kind of when I casted a vision right then and there. And I was like, you know, really, I feel like what I'm meant to do on this earth is really inspire and motivate people, whether that's through a YouTube video or eventually I want to speak on big stages. You know, I've spoke a little bit on a few decent sized stages, but nothing like incredibly big, like 10,000 people. But that's really the goal, because I want to be that person on stage that is just sharing their story and inspiring the heck out of someone, maybe just like me in the back. So that's really what I would recommend you as well, is like try to get to as many events as possible. Go to things that are really going to inspire you. Don't just always just sitting there watching YouTube videos. Go do things, okay? Go meet other people that are doing it and just get motivated and inspired by people that are having the success that Alright, just got out of the gym, had a good little sesh there, definitely needed that. It's funny, like, as I was recording myself in there, I could like see my form and see like some of the areas that I could definitely improve on. So it's just like becoming a lot more self-aware on stuff I'm doing. I always know that I want to be self-aware in everything that I'm doing, because that just helps you kind of figure out where your holes are and like how you can fix stuff. So just a little tip for you there if you want to implement stuff like that. But let's get back into this stuff about, you know, how I had my first $10,000 month. And you know, up until this point I've just been telling you like, yeah, you got to take action and you go to events and network with people and you learn so much through that. But like, what actually is happening? Because a lot of people will say this type of stuff, oh, I make this amount of money and blah blah blah, but they're not really like giving you like brass tacks, like what was happening in order for money to be made and into your bank account. So let's get into that. Okay, so what is really happening in order to make this type of money that we're talking about online? And I mean, there's obviously a variety of things that you can do. You can go out there and trade the stock market, Forex, stuff like that, but that's not what I do. Okay, so obviously I'm not gonna teach that kind of stuff. So how I did it is through basically digital marketing, social media marketing. And the thing that I'm always gonna hammer home on this channel, no matter what happens on this channel, is the importance of marketing. And really what it comes down to is, when I say marketing, when I say digital marketing, what I'm really referring to is the ability to generate customers. Okay, so it's marketing, getting very, very good at marketing, but also selling people something. Okay, that's really what it comes down to. And that's how I had my first $10,000 month, is I was selling stuff. But you know, in the model that I talk about a lot on this channel is affiliate marketing. So none of these products and services were ever mine. Okay, I do have my own products and services now, but in the beginning I was just selling other people's products. And so that is what I was talking about more specifically with the YouTube videos. Like, YouTube is a great place to do your marketing. It's a great place to get your message out. They got these little bikes now. They always have the scooters, now they have bikes. I'm gonna have to test those out a little bit. I don't know if you guys saw that guy come through, but it's really all about getting very good at marketing. So YouTube's a great place, like getting your social presence out there, learning how to run ads, learning how to get people from your YouTube videos over to your website, learning how to sell people on the website if it's one of your own websites. If you're just doing affiliate marketing, then you just pick a product that already is selling well. There's a variety of different companies out there, and we've talked a lot about that kind of stuff. In fact, I'll probably put a little a playlist that you can click on the eye or down in the YouTube description. That way you can click on that and go through more of like affiliate marketing training. But that's really what it comes down to, is like getting very good at marketing. Focus on that, focus on one specific platform, and that's what I did, because I started focusing on YouTube like I talked about before. I just told myself, like, I tried a lot of other platforms. I tried even like Craigslist, I tried Facebook, and a bunch of different stuff, and that was when I was really dabbling and I really just wasn't having very good results. So I said, hey, I'm just gonna get focused, I'm gonna stick to YouTube, I'm gonna focus on one particular business, one particular product, and that's all I focused on for like 90 days. So I would strongly encourage you to do a similar thing, is just like pick one platform that you can learn how to get really good at marketing on that platform, pick one particular product, and then just go hard for at least 90 days where you're just taking action every single day, consistently, day in and day out. And if you guys want to take this stuff up to the next level, get some more advanced training, then I strongly recommend that you click the link down in the video description and go over to mentorwithnick.com. I've talked about this a lot on a lot of my videos, but that's a place where I talk a little bit more about marketing, the in-depth kind of stuff. Got some people yelling at me over here. I got some, yeah, that's just like where the more advanced training is. So go to mentorwithnick.com if you really want to take this stuff up to the next level. But let's talk a little bit more about this. I'm gonna go back in my apartment, but okay, so we understand that, you know, you need to take a lot of action. You need to master one of the social platforms and getting people to a website. But now let's talk about more like, how do you actually make those like big size commissions? Because, you know, you could be selling, you know, an ebook for $47 and it's going to take a long time to get up to $10,000 per month. So let's jump up in my apartment, and yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about how to get those big size commissions.
Some of that sweeter juice, if anything, but we can always wait on that or whatever.
All right, so I made a little switch up. I came over to check out my boy. What up, Jeremy? And he was sharing a story with me, and I want to talk a little bit more about like the Ascension Model, and that's really what I was getting to, is you know, selling something of a low price point first, and then that leads up to other big price points, because that's how I did my first $10,000 month. I sold like a $25 product, but then within that business, there was also other products that were $1,000, $3,000, and then when you stack a couple of those sales, obviously it goes quicker. So that's what I would recommend if you're doing the affiliate model. But if you want to get into some type of like coaching, you're really good at something, you want to coach people and you want to make money off of that, Jeremy just shared this awesome story with me, and I'm just going to let him kind of share it and give his advice, because he's a coach and he has courses on his own if affiliate marketing isn't really your model, or you want to kind of more so move towards his model. So I'll just give it to Jeremy and let him share the gold.
I was telling Nick, and this works for anyone who is starting a business from scratch. If you have an existing business, if you're a coach or even a consultant offering services in the agency model. I've done it with almost all of those things already. But basically, I was telling Nick about how I was doing the Gary Vee strategy. I was on a film shoot for a buddy, just doing him a favor, behind the camera, hitting record and stop, and I went and hit up maybe 60 or 70 people over the course of 72 hours by going to someone who I know my audience follows, going to their recent viewers of their video, which is publicly accessible to anyone, and just engaging with anyone who had a story. And so I would tap their story, I'd look at their stuff, and start a conversation. And I had one guy who, from the moment of DMing back and forth, which is super active, hopped on a call with me the next day, and yesterday on the call closed for $1,500. And I think that if you're new to business, the magic in this to be thinking about is that you could do this without an audience at all. All you need is social media. Now I have like 3,000 followers, but this wasn't to someone who has seen any of my work already. This wasn't someone who knows anything of what I'm doing, but because I was able to start a conversation and add value, and then also I knew how to take the conversation to that transformation, the magic happens. So it's like literally anyone can do this. And if you have a service already, or you want to put together a coaching offer, or you have a product and maybe you could see it as a service as well, like turning into a coaching program instead of a digital program, this would work just perfect, and literally anyone can do it. So that's the magic of it.
That's awesome. I mean, just to like kind of recap, he just started DMing someone, and then they signed up for his coaching program and paid in full $1,500. And it was nobody they knew, but he's really good on social media. Like we talked about before, get very good on social media and offer something of high value for a high price point. Okay, so get really good at something, and then you can be a coach for that particular topic, whether that's fitness or dating advice, or it really doesn't matter. Just get really good at something that you can really help someone, and then you can charge a lot of money for that. And so I want to say one other thing is, so the way that you actually closed him and got him to pay was he went to your website, filled out the application, and then you got on the phone call to close him down.
Yep.
Yeah, so phone calls are definitely a great way to go if you want to sell higher stuff. Like that's the easiest conversion. You're not really going to sell someone $1,500 on a website typically. It takes a lot more skill to do that. So just get on the phone, figure out what their wants, their needs, desires are, and just fill that for them. So that's really it. Do you have anything else to add, Jeremy?
No, that's it. And if you don't know what your business is already, you got to find something that's just simple that you already know about, and like you can make it happen. But I know the people who are watching this who have a business already, their mind's going because this stuff works.
Yeah. So if you guys like that shit, make sure and put a comment down below. Make sure and go give Jeremy a follow. I'll put his stuff in the description and everything. Awesome dude. If you guys are ever in the Scottsdale area, make sure and connect with him. Awesome dude. But yeah, that's really it. We're gonna close out this video now. Make sure and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Let me know what you got most out of this video, and we will see you on the next one.